Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode
Number 70.
Episode 70 of Planet Film Live.
Oh, yeah, that should probably be... Are you raising it? Or are you just putting it back? Oh. Yeah.
That's probably
good,
better, right?
I think so. Do we usually have it higher or no? I always
we,
forget.
We just normally have it closer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good.
There we go.
All right. So episode 70. My name is TJ Cornwell. That is...
Sean Monk.
And we're your hosts of this wonderful episode. Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 of 2021. We're also going to talk about a few other things. We're going to talk about Book of Boba Fett. We're going to talk about Peacemaker. We're going to talk about Euphoria. And then I think... I don't even know. I don't want to talk about... Actually, no. You know what? You have a car story, so let's hear your car story. And then maybe I'll talk about football. Maybe.
Well, just today I had somewhere important to go at 2 o'clock.
Right.
And my car was buried under, I would say conservatively, 4 feet of snow. And then it was also, on top of that, when the plows came through, it was also then plowed in. So there was about a ramp, like a plow pile, about 5 feet tall up against the side of my car, which, was great. So, long story short, I had somewhere to go at 2 o'clock. At 12, I started shoveling it because I knew it was going to take a long, long time. So at 12, I started shoveling it, and I finally basically got it to the point where I wanted to start it to try and just back up a little bit. Yeah. Because I wasn't even going to bother with, and I didn't, it's still out there. I wasn't going to bother with the plow pile because it's just like, if I could just back up enough to basically just drive to the side of the plow pile, basically.
Right.
Like, just back up, swing around, and try to shoot out, like, around it, basically. That was all I was trying to do. I was not trying to remove all of the snow. So then I went and I did that, and I got it to the point where I wanted to start. I go to start it, and it was dead.
Yeah.
So that's great.
The code will do that.
Yeah. The thing that pissed me off was I tested it yesterday just to make sure that it didn't. And I tested it for like 15 minutes. I just ran it like sitting there, and it was totally fine. And then today it was just dead, which is great. And then... So right away, without, I kept shoveling, but right away when I was sitting in my car, I went on the AAA app. I called for like a guy to come out and jump it. And it was about at like the hour and a half mark of waiting for somebody from AAA to show up. I called the place I was supposed to go, and I was just like, I got to reschedule because I was like, I am not going to be able to get out there. The place I had to go was in Williamsville. So I was like, I am not going to be able to get out there today, or at least on time for 2 o'clock, and 2 o'clock was the last time they could do it. So I had to call them, and then I was just basically sitting there waiting. And the thing that pissed me off the most was the plate, because AAA, they contract with local places. The place like accepted the service request within 5 minutes of me doing it, and then it just said they're on their way for an hour and a half. You know what I mean? Like, instead of just waiting for a place that could actually go right away and get it, like, they were just freaking sitting there waiting for an hour and a half, and it kept in it. And any time I went to check the estimated time of arrival, it would just say that its estimated time of arrival was whatever the time was that I checked it. Yeah. Which really pissed me off. And so then finally they showed up, and the guy was like, well, what do you need me to do? And I was like, what are you talking about? Jump the car. Yeah. And he was like, well, don't you want me to test the battery first? And I was like, if you want to, but I was like, primarily, I'd like you to get my car to start, if that's possible. Like,
please, sir.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you can start the freaking, or you can test the battery. But I was like, I don't really care what you do as long as you get my car to start. And he was like, oh, okay. I mean, it's in a lot of snow. And I was like, what? And I got all the snow off of the actual car.
Yeah.
Like, I got all of it off. I popped the hood. The hood was popped, cleared off, ready. Like, and all the place in front of my car was completely shoveled. That was actually, that portion was actually snowblowed by, like, our landlord. So right in front of my car was not only shoveled, it was, the sidewalk. Because it was, like, 40 today. A lot of the surface stuff melted, so it was like actual like sidewalk. There wasn't even snow in front of my car. It just sucks that in front of my car is a building, so I can't go forward. I have to dig it out from the back. So like he had no obstacles in his way, but he was just like, well, there's a lot of snow on your car, like as if that might have helped me out as an indication of why it didn't start. I was like, yeah, there was a lot more as well. I was like, it was under like 4 feet of snow.
Yeah.
And the guy just had like this terrible attitude. And then, finally when I got him to actually do it and stop asking me questions, it jumped it and it was fine. And it started. And so I had to just keep letting it run, shoveling even more to get it out, because then our next door neighbors showed up, so they parked right behind me. So I had to dig out even more to like swing around to back out, and it was just a whole catastrophe. So I got my car out in the end, but then I didn't have anywhere to go, which pissed me off. And it's like, if the guy if the place hadn't have like dragged their feet, I wouldn't even have had to reschedule.
Well, wait, didn't you have to take it to like did you have to take it to a place to get a new battery? No,
the battery was fine. It was just too cold to start on its own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think I got I think that battery is less than like 15 months old, I want to say. Because I think the last time I had it jumped was, or when I got a new battery was right after I moved in here. So I think it's like 15 or 16 months old. But yeah, it's totally fine. But yeah. So
yeah, we had, if you don't know, like, we just had like a big, I don't even know if I want to, I guess a snowstorm, but I don't even know if that counts as a snowstorm, because I feel like a snowstorm has to last for like, when I think snowstorm, I think like October storm.
Yeah.
Where it's like, just, trees falling all over the place and everything. But I think, when was it again? Sunday? Yeah. Sunday night.
Yeah.
It was probably like 10 or 11 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember when it started, but I like looked outside. I was like, snow. We always say like snow. How much snow could we really get? And I remember you,
especially the past few years, it's been light.
Right. And I remember you like you told me, you're like, I don't know, it's really coming down over here. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's fine over here. And then I like look out the window like an hour later, and Danielle's car is just like
gone,
basically gone. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it actually it turned out it's funny actually. So I have the option to work from home or go in the office. And Monday I was gonna go in, right? Or was I gonna stay home? No, I was gonna stay home. And then Sunday night I usually check what I put as my schedule. Mm-hmm. So I tried to log on, and it was like down, like it wasn't working. I couldn't connect to the server at work, and I was like, okay, that's weird. So I was like, oh, it'll probably be fixed tomorrow, So I wake up to like a group chat that I'm in with like a bunch of other coworkers. It's like, yeah, like the phone system's down, the VPN that we connect to is down, so you can't work from home, and the office isn't plowed yet. So like just like
don't do anything.
Just wait. Like so they
Did you get paid though?
Well,
okay.
They said they weren't going to open till noon. And then around like 10, 11, they just decided to close for the day. And since we couldn't work from home, it was basically like you had the option of like you could wait for it to be turned back on the VPN to try and, when they figure that out, or you could not get paid, or you could just take PTO. I just took the PTO. Mm-hmm. So I just took, the day off, which is kind of cool. And then, so I shoveled my car, which it actually didn't take that long. It took about half an hour. But then we had to shovel Danielle's car last night because she took my car to work on Tuesday or yesterday because her car was still covered. And then last night we shoveled hers out. And it was kind of a pain because we only had like this one shovel like that is at our like front door of our building. And
Oh, so it's like a joint, like a shared
I
shovel?
think so. It might be somebody's, but everybody uses it. So like I don't know. But then I was like, oh, maybe we can find another shovel. And you'd think maybe I'd have a shovel. I didn't. And there was no other shovels in any other buildings. And I was like, okay, well, but yeah, that took about 45 minutes too. But got it out. But the problem was like the plow that came in to plow like the parking lot, it like plowed everybody's cars in.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
like,
yeah.
you know, it was really annoying to, and even like on your street right here, there's
yeah, I know.
it's like right over here somewhere where it's like, looks like a car pulled out, but there's snow like halfway to the street.
I think what happened was, I think somebody parked overnight.
Oh, okay.
So I think they went around it, but that's a thing that, you know, where we live, a lot of people have been complaining about is that they may be plowed once, but no plow has been back around.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like normally when we get snow like this, they plow the first day, then they come around again, then they come around the next day, you know, to make sure that it's like clear. They just plowed once, and then, you know, we've never seen them again.
Here, my thing with like critiquing all that stuff is like, I'm sure they're like working really hard to like get everything plowed. So it's like, I don't want to say anything. Yeah. Obviously. Because I know I forget if it was like yesterday or 2 days ago, people were complaining like the city streets weren't plowed. But yeah, it was something. And then they're supposed to come back, I think, at the end of the week.
Snow?
Did you see that? There's supposed to be like another storm or something. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, you know, I don't lose power or anything. But all
I know is this time I'm definitely going to park. Well, that's a whole other thing. I could have parked in the garage, but there's always this freaking lady that she parks. So the way that my apartment's set up is that the parking lot's in the back, and there's the back of the houses, and then there's the big garage building that's like the big long building with a bunch of garages lined up. So people can either park in their garage, in the spaces on either side, or right behind their house. Yeah. Most people, if they have one car, they just park right behind their house. If they have two cars, they go in the spaces. Or, you know, they use their garage. But the problem is, this freaking lady whose house is right in front of our whose back of house is right in front of our garage, she always parks literally like there have been times where she parks in the middle of the parking lot, just straight in the middle. And I complained to the landlord, like to the company and stuff, and they just go, well, you know, we talked to the resident and she's elderly, so you know, she said she won't do it again. And I'm like, well, that doesn't help me that she's elderly and she said that she won't do it again. If I can't use my garage, you know, how do you? Because then they always say, like, because, you know, when there is a snowstorm, stuff like this happens and we all get plowed in, they go, well, when there's a snowstorm coming, don't park behind the houses. Well, where are we supposed to park then? There's not enough spaces. Right. Like, what are you talking about? So I said to them, I was like, well, what do you even mean by that? Like, how do you want me to park correctly if I can't even access my garage? Right. Like, how is that on me? Like, I basically just turned it on them and was like, listen, man, I'll park however you want, but if I can't, how am I supposed to? Like, what are you talking about? And like, that just pissed me off. So hopefully I can get in the garage, and then that's the scary thing though, is that with the way that lady parks, if I get in the garage, how am I going to get out? Yeah. If she blocks it, you know, then it's not the snow blocking me, it's this freaking lady's car. Like, right. So annoying.
Yeah,
that was a little bit.
No, it's okay. Hopefully, you're able to park regularly.
I know. But yeah, shout out to the jacket that I'm wearing.
Yeah,
got the Buffalo Bills domination going on.
Saturday night was the AFC wildcard game for the Bills versus the New England Patriots. And in hindsight, that's
what I was trying to find for you. Oh, that's my garage right there. She's literally, that's where everyone's supposed to park. Yeah. She's an entire car length over.
2020, hindsight's 2020. What I will say is, you know, would I like to go to the game now thinking of the score? Mm-hmm. Of course. Would have loved to go. And, going into it, I was like, hell no, I'm not going.
Yeah. I remember Brandon was like, oh, are you going?
Yeah,
and you're like,
going?
It's
no.
0 degrees.
Yeah. And and again, I went on the dome rant last week. Mm-hmm. Just build a dome, but whatever. But yeah, beat the Patriots 47-17. Was never close. They scored a touchdown, immediately picked off Mac Jones about 5 minutes later, and then we never really looked back. I'll tell you what, I told you before we went live, I was cackling at the TV. It was the maybe the most fun I've had watching a Bills game. Just because of the past 20 years and what that meant. And we beat them pretty bad last year, but the Patriots were not really competitive at all last year. I feel like they were, I think they were 7-9. And they did have a few close games. Like in the beginning of the season, they weren't bad. And then, the first game we played them last year was pretty close. And then I think we stripped Zach Cam Newton, or we just stripped him. And then that's how we won that game. And then the second matchup last year, we just smoked them like 37-9 or something ridiculous.
Oh wow!
And then obviously this year was the notorious win game that we lost 15-13, I think.
Yeah.
Where it was 50 miles an hour winds or whatever it was. And then the second matchup, Josh Allen just went berserk and we smacked him like it was. I think it was like 35-20. So it wasn't that. It was close, but it wasn't like if you're watching it, you're like that wasn't really close. This game was just like
we were a constant almost 3 touchdowns ahead every moment of the game.
Yeah, and it set the record: 7 straight touchdowns, 7 straight possessions, no turnovers, no attempted field goals.
Yeah,
just
first game in NFL history to do that. Right?
Yeah. So that was a big morale booster because I was a little nervous going to playoffs because we've been very hot and cold. And I think our last year we had the Arizona game where we lost at last second Hail Mary, and that was kind of the wake up call. And we went on this 7 straight game tear into the playoffs, made it to AFC Championship. And this year I think it was around halftime of the Bucs game when we were down 23-0 or something stupid. We came back, we lost, but we made it to overtime. We lost. But I feel like that kind of flipped a switch, and they've been trying to kind of find the groove with the offense because the defense has been pretty solid the whole year. Basically, I think they were number 1 the entire year throughout the NFL. And then it seems like on Saturday night it just clicked. So I am nervous for this week. I don't know what's going to happen. The Chiefs. We beat them earlier in the year, but that was a different Chiefs team. They were struggling. They weren't very good on offense. They were making mistakes. Their defense was awful earlier in the year. They've kind of turned it around since then. Granted, I will say this is the team I did want. I did not want to face the Bengals, but still keep thinking about it. I'm like, well, maybe I would have rather faced the Bengals. So I am nervous, but I do believe we can go in there and win. I'm just, I'm.
And is this so?
I'm anxious.
Is it the Chiefs game and then the Super Bowl, or is there one in between?
Chiefs game, AFC Championship,
then one in
Super Bowl.
Okay.
We're probably gonna see if we were to win this game. I think we'd probably see the Titans. I want to say, I don't know if the Bengals will be able to stop the Titans if Derrick Henry's playing. It all kind of depends if Derrick Henry's playing. If he's not, then I think the Bengals have a really good chance. But if he's not, or if he is, they have a little less of a chance. And the Titans, we lost earlier in the season on a Josh Allen slip, where it was 4th and 1, he snuck and he tried to QB sneak and he slipped. So but yeah, I'm very excited for the Kansas City game. I hope we win. All right. So which show do you want to talk about first? I would prefer Book of Boba Fett because it's just fresh in my mind.
Let's do it.
All right. So
you got some questions.
I have okay. So Book of Boba Fett episode 4 spoilers, just so you know. You did your TikTok review. Go check that out on TikTok right now. And I think, is it a YouTube short as well? Or no?
TikTok, YouTube short, Instagram Reel.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing with the Book of Boba Fett. All right. So this episode, we saw him. So he shoots that. When he's in the what's it actually called now?
Well, I think you could still call it. It's still a slave one.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's in the slave one, and he's like, I got some. I need to pay scores to settle, and he just comes behind the group of.
That was a great shot.
So and he's just gunning them down, and I said, wait a minute, okay. So when he comes back to the Tusken camp, and it's clearly like all destroyed, was that a flashback? Because I don't recall.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this just me, or were they building that gang up to be bigger? Because I felt like it was gonna be this thing where he'd maybe run into them again. He'd be like, "You killed blah blah." Mm-hmm. But he just like kills them with like in a quick like 5-second thing, and then I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then because I thought maybe like after we were done with the Pikes, we'd go to them, but that's clearly not the case.
Yeah,
is that
I feel like it must be it's gonna be the opposite. I feel like they're setting up. I think the flashbacks are done now, I think is what this episode did.
Right, yeah.
But then I think we're setting up that for this season or this show, at least the Pikes are going to be the big bad. So I think it was just like, that was just an easy way for him to get immediate revenge on the biker gang, basically.
Yeah, that just to me was so like unsatisfying. Like,
really?
We saw them torch the home or the house. And then we see them. We don't see them, but we see their symbol at the Raider camp. And then he just like flies behind them and kills them, and that's it. And I'm just kind of like, I feel like we were trying to build to something, and you just kind of went, okay, there it is, done. It's like, okay. And again, I told you, and to me, this is just my personal, opinion, but they're more intimidating to me, and I told you the Pikes to me are not intimidating. Like I feel like they should wipe them pretty easily, but that's just because.
Well, I feel like the problem with the Pikes is the money. Like the Pikes can just throw whatever the galaxy has at Boba.
That is true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could get that.
Like the Pikes are, they are way less physically intimidating. Like, right. If you, from the looks of it, because, on Kessel and on Tatooine at least, they have to wear those masks. Like, if you want to tie it into canon and make the masks make sense, you could say, like, I think even if you just ripped one of their masks off and threw them in the desert, they would probably die. So It's like, I don't think they are very physically threatening. But I think it's more just about the kind of societal threat that they pose or something like that. Yeah, more than the actual physical fight.
Right. Another thing that to me just made no sense was the other thing another score he has to settle is he goes to the Sarlacc pit where he infamously was consumed for 5 years? Is that what it was? Mm-hmm. So he goes there.
No, a couple days probably.
Couple days.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my question, and he says this, and it really does not make sense to me. So he goes there, and it would make sense to me if he was just like, oh, I was trapped here for however long. I want some payback. I'm going to kill this thing. But he says he's going to look for his armor. Mm-hmm. But, how does he think? I know he doesn't know. I think where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I think it was just I think it was more of just he was so out of it he doesn't even remember coming out type of thing.
But even that, it's like you see him punch out of the sand, but they make it a point to say or even they say in Mandalorian, Beskar is it's not. It's this thing that's you can't melt it or something like that. It's strong.
Yeah.
And it's how do you think you survived? You were in there with it, so obviously you must have come out with it on.
Well, I think what because I think Fennec says something like, it served its purpose, it protected, like,
right,
maybe she was thinking, like, it lasted just long enough to get him out, type of thing.
Right.
And I think that's maybe what it was. And then I think he realized, like, well, I must not be in here, type thing.
Right.
But in terms of the actual, like, memory of it, I think he probably just can't remember. Because, I mean, I think he was probably just, gut react, like, just, like, almost, like, on autopilot, like, just trying to get out type of thing. And then his brain was just, like, so fried.
But,
yeah.
Where I am with the show, like, and I was listening to a review on the way over here, and I think they made a good point. Who was
the review?
It was kind of funny.
Oh.
The thing with me is, like, we haven't seen him be what he was in Mandalorian. Am I wrong on that?
No.
He has not kicked anybody's ass. He is not really,
I think this episode was in the flashbacks was the closest we've gotten to that.
But even that, he's just shooting people out of like.
Well, I just mean the more, like, violent. Like, it's not him physically violent, but yeah.
But like in Mando, like, he's smashing stormtroopers' skulls in and all this stuff. And I get, like, obviously you can't do that every episode or whatever. But to me, it's like, I feel like we're being sold two different people. And it's like, I don't know which. And again, I'm not a huge, like, I know part of the Boba Fett, like, love originally was kind of like the mystique, and who is this guy? He just all he did was he captured Han Solo, and then he got yeeted into a Sarlacc pit, and that's it. And I hate young Boba because he just complains too much. I can't stand him. But I like Tamora Morrison in this role. It's just like I want to see him kick more ass, basically. I don't know. Maybe that's just a problem I have, but.
No, yeah, and I think too. I 100% agree with what you say on, like, we're being so, like, it's very much feels like not two different characters, but two different characterizations,
right,
of the same. Like, I feel like it's very much, I don't know. I feel like maybe it was something like he was just trying to, work something out, or just had, like, aggression to get out, maybe. And it wasn't like it was actually, him getting the, it wasn't his score to settle when he was helping out Mando, like, to rescue Grogu. So maybe it was like he felt like he could unhinge a little bit more,
right?
Rather than, like, when he's trying to rebuild his empire, like it was off of Tatooine. You know what I mean? So, like, when he says the whole, like, I'm gonna rule through respect instead of fear or whatever,
right? I
think he's trying to have a very light touch on Tatooine. That to me is the way that I kind of justified in my headcanon. Now, obviously, if you don't want to, justify it, and you're like, well, I shouldn't have to justify it. I think that's totally valid, because I do think without justification in your own head, it definitely feels like something doesn't add
off.
Up. Yeah, something's off, type of thing. So yeah, I mean, I can get that. But to me, that's how I reconcile it in my head, is that, like, well, he wasn't on Tatooine. It wasn't when he was trying to build his empire, type of thing. And kind of no one was watching him. You know what I mean? Like, so I think he could be a little more vicious and let loose. But I think, too, that's going to be something that does, like, come across and, influence maybe in the finale or maybe before the finale, because, like, in this episode, Fennec says, like, your time with the Raiders has made you soft, and he's like, no, it's made me strong. So, like, I feel like, that maybe that misconception is going to be something that a lot of characters have of him, and maybe it's going to be something that he's going to prove to the characters and the audience, by the end of the series, kind of thing, of like, no, he isn't soft. It's just the way that he's going about things. And I do think also, I think a big thing is that I think at least partly, I think he's going to be wrong. I think he's going to realize, when it comes to Tatooine, you can't just have that light of a touch. You know what I mean? Like, he's saying to the other crime lords in this episode, like, He's like, if you don't want to join me, that's fine. All I ask is, your neutrality to not betray me. Like, let me do what I'm trying to do for Tatooine. Like, I feel like that also is going to bite him in the butt. So I feel like there's a lot of stuff that we still have to watch play out, but also that he thinks is going to work that I think is going to kind of blow up in his face. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I guess we just got to wait and see.
Do you think Chris Hansen comes to his aid in this fight against the Pikes, or?
Yeah, I think so. I think because to me it seems like the some of the Trandoshans that are on Tatooine, like the ones that we see meet up in the bar.
Yeah.
Maybe it seems like they're kind of wealthier, so maybe they're kind of rolling with the Pikes. So maybe that is a built-in hatred that Chris Hansen can have to fight the Pikes, basically. But also, I think we're slowly kind of like how Mando did. I think we're slowly. Oh yeah, what?
Yeah, what's up? 808 Smokey. Sorry.
Oh, what's up? It's my buddy Dylan. Welcome, Dylan. But yeah, I think that's something that we're slow, just like we did in Mando. We're building up the team. You know what I mean? And another thing that I think people are not giving this show enough credit for, because now we're used to, I feel like, the Marvel shows of being very serialized, of the overarching story being very prevalent. This show, if you look at this show compared to Mando Season 1, remember what everybody complained about with Mando Season 1? Every episode's a one-off. How's it all going to... This show is doing, I feel, a remarkable job connecting you know what I mean? Like, they're juggling up until this episode, they were juggling not only one great storyline, but I feel like two storylines with the flashbacks and the present day. So, like, that to me, I really, really love about the show, too, is that, for whatever else people can say about it, I feel like it's a flowing story that's easy to follow, unlike Mandalorian was in the first season, at least.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. This is a big spoiler. We get the at the end of the episode, we get the Mandalorian theme. Dun, dun. So it's clear that he will be showing up in the next 3 episodes at some point. So that I am excited for. But yeah, I think right now on the show, I'm just kind of, I just hope it kind of, it fulfills what it's going for. Yeah. Because even like in the last episode with, the Jabba twins or whatever, they're kind of like, oh yeah, you can have it. You can have it now. Like, you can have the territory because we don't want it because of this, whatever, this threat or something. And it's like, okay, but what is that? Like, are we going to get that? I hope at the end.
So, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
But like, I'm just thinking, like, what could that possibly? Cause not the Pikes, because again, the Pikes are, to me, it's just like the Pikes are just like. And I always go back to the Ahsoka arc in the last season. I'm like, they were just, it was because that arc was just not good, and the notorious episode where they run around the thing Pike, and they end up where they were in the beginning, and it's
I would say my advice would be, I think that the big bad of the show is going to be the Pikes. So I would just prepare yourself. I would just prepare yourself, because I don't think for this series, I don't think, except for maybe like a last episode, like, well, maybe who's in charge of the Pikes. Like maybe, last scene is like,
and the mayor. We still don't know what the mayor's up to.
Yeah, I think
the mayor's something.
Right? I don't think so. I think the mayor's just like hiding out with the Pikes or something, with like their protection or something. But now what I think is absolutely plausible is maybe who's trying to disrupt the Outer Rim? You know what I mean? Why are the Pikes here? Type of thing. And maybe we get one of the Pike leaders running back to Kessel or something, and a little hologram of like, well, why did you fail me? And maybe it's either like Thrawn, or maybe it's Amelia Clark. It's Kira. Like, it could be either something to tie into where we know all this is heading to Thrawn, or criminal underworld side. Could be Crimson Dawn with Amelia. Maybe that's how you bring Amelia Clark back into it.
Right.
So I feel like actually, I would say, like, if I had to put money on it, some sort of thing of that, of, yes, this season, or if this show is only one season, this show, whatever it might be, the big bad of this, what we're watching, is going to be the Pikes. But I feel like definitely there is someone behind the Pikes, because otherwise, why haven't the Pikes laid claim to Tatooine decades earlier? I mean, they were at the height of their power, like, in the prequels. So, like, and granted, Jabba was there, but if Luke Skywalker could hatch a plan to kill Jabba the Hutt, I'm sure the Pikes, or even Crimson Dawn, could. But what can you do?
Yeah. Just to say, two things that I did love about this episode was the my favorite sound in all of Star Wars. The what's it called? What's like is there an official name for it?
Yeah.
There's got to be, right?
Yes.
The vibration bomb thing that he drops in the Sarlacc pit and goes vroom, that you see in Attack of the Clones.
Oh my god, I was just like,
or no, that's Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, it's Attack of the Clones and then stuff. But why is this like?
And then the scene with the two robots when they break into the Jabba's palace type thing in the flashback, and we have the General Grievous kind of salad droid thing with all the knives. Seismic charges.
Oof.
That great sound. And the little I don't know what they're called, what kind of droid they are. I know I've seen them before, and I think animated.
Yeah,
those are so cute.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me
really funny that he turned himself off. So
yeah,
he didn't get killed.
I felt kind of bad because I was like, oh, he's just running around like, and I think that's also something that feeds into the whole kind of two different characters where he's just kind of like bumbling chasing around this droid, and I don't really buy into the whole like Boba Fett is dumb, but like that's one of those things, or like even again with the armor thing for me, where it's just like you know where it, come on, like, you know, and the character's like, I don't know. It's like, yes, you do. But yeah, I'm excited for the last 3 episodes. I'm excited. I hope they, kind of tie it up with a nice little bow. And I do hope there is some sort of bigger character behind the Pikes or somewhere. Yeah. Because if it really is just like, oh, I'm the head of the Pikes, and it's just a Pike, like I'll just be like, okay, well, all right.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. But make sure follow us on @theofficialpfn on Instagram, TikTok. We do reviews for all these shows and stuff, for all the big shows that are out. But yeah, you want to talk about Peacemaker?
Yeah, we can go Peacemaker. So I haven't really said any of my thoughts on Peacemaker, I don't think. I really like Peacemaker. I think it is very funny. I think John Cena is great. I think he's always been kind of a comedic actor to me, with like Blockers and Suicide Squad, obviously. He's been in a few other things, I feel like, but I can't think of
he was in like Trainwreck, I feel like, was the big one that he was like first, like, oh, John Cena's like really funny type of thing,
But he can also do, like, he can be kind of like in episode 3. This is also spoilers for Peacemaker, by the way. Episode 3, when he can't kill that guy. And he's kind of like, he's kind of all disheveled and stuff like that. I'm like, oh man, that was good. But I think James Gunn just hit it out of the park with Peacemaker so far. All the jokes are great. I am very intrigued on where the story's going. And I think, again, like I said, John Cena's great. All the supporting cast is great. And I really like the relationship of, and I'm not good with the characters' names.
Harcourt?
No, Amanda Waller and her daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that kind of idea that they're kind of talking like, I don't know his name, the kind of leader of that group. Mern. He like talks shit about her. Yeah. And she like makes a face, and she's like, Yeah. And I'm just really excited to see where the show goes, and maybe, I don't know if it's going to connect. I feel like it might, because I don't really know what the DCU is doing.
I don't think they know what they're doing.
Yeah, but if this is like its own separate thing, I'm totally down for it.
Yeah. Yeah, you go check out my in-depth thoughts. I have about like a minute review on all 3 episodes up on the TikTok or Instagram right now. Actually, they're up on the channel too, because they're uploaded as YouTube shorts. So whichever platform you guys want, they're up there to check out my deeper thoughts. But I'm really loving it. everything you just said, so good. And I just really like the team dynamic. I feel like they really nailed it with like everybody with like Harcourt, and I really like Steve Agee as John Economist. I feel like he's really freaking funny. All the like dye beard jokes. Yeah. It's like, I don't dye my beard. Yeah, and then they just James Gunn just tweeted out posted a picture of all of them, and it was Steve Agee, and he had a gray beard. It was like, oh my god, everybody was like, and it didn't reference it at all, like the post, but everybody in the comments was just like, he does dye it. Like, oh my god. But like just the fact that like there's already those little jokes that everyone that has watched the show is like in on and loves and stuff. And then also just all the stuff with like the butterflies, like it's getting into that kind of crazy aspect of the DC universe where it's like, and that's what I really like too, is that like it is just so kind of like how now where Marvel is at the point of where you're just like what Hulk says in Infinity War, like there's an Ant-Man and a Spider-Man, like stuff like that, but like just with all the Batmite references, right. They're just like, there's just like these butterfly aliens that live in people's brains and stuff, and you're just like, you just have to roll with it because it's like that's the DC universe that we live in. It's just like, he's just like, I would. And just the fact that he can go like, I'd rather have Harley Quinn or Weasel other than you, like this fucking guy. And it's like, that's what I really like, is that they're just dropping all these DC references like left, right, and center. I really, really enjoy that stuff. And to me, it's like, also I kind of discussed this when we did our Eternals review. It's just a personal thing. I don't like anything more than maybe like a visual reference or a very quick thing. I don't like Marvel referencing DC and DC referencing Marvel. And that's why I love this, because your own universes have characters to mine for. You know what I mean? Like he could have been like, John Economist could have been like, oh, okay, Spider-Man, Mr. like righteous over here. But he didn't. He said a DC reference. And it's when you have just whatever to mine from, like, use it. You don't have to compare Icarus to Superman when you live in a world with Iron Man and Captain America. You know what I mean? Like,
right. And I'll tell you what. Yeah. As scary as the butterflies are, Robert Patrick is even more scary to me.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even talk about him yet. White Dragon.
Terrifying in this movie.
I think he might end up being the bad of the actual season. Oh, now, I don't think he has to do with the butterflies. No, but I think it's gonna be the threat that he has to take down.
And you see like why Peacemaker is the way he is when you see his dad,
and you see why people assume they're always like, you're that racist superhero. Yeah, and also something that the show seems to maybe be setting up that isn't like it is in the comics is that maybe his dad is the original Peacemaker.
That's what I was getting.
Which is not how it is in the comics. Okay. But if that makes total sense, that everybody's like, oh, you're that racist superhero. And it's like, because the cop even says to him when he goes to Detroit, remember, he's like, oh, are you playing dress up again?
Right,
And like his reluctancy to kind of give him the helmets. And
I would say he has all that stuff.
Why is the Peacemaker base in his house? Like, so that kind of leads me to believe, I think they're setting it up that he is the original Peacemaker. Yeah. And that he did target minorities and kill a bunch of, non-white people and stuff. And then, but then what they call him in the prison, the White Dragon, that's who he actually is in the comics.
Okay.
And that is like the White Dragon is like
a KKK thing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Like even the DC character is
gotcha
a member of the KKK and like part of all that stuff. So I really like that. First of all, I really like that HBO Max told James Gunn, you can go there. Like, just go for it. And I love that at first you're like, oh, you got like Robert Patrick in here. Like, what a great actor to get for the show. And like to pay his dad. And then you realize, oh no, Robert Patrick's going to be like a huge part of the, like, Robert Patrick is going to be able to like full on like Terminator it up. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
that's what I was thinking.
Because like the first episode, you're just kind of like, oh, his dad's, so mean to him, but like it's kind of funny. And then you're like, oh, this guy is very much not a joking manner. No, especially with what happens in the prison scene, like with that. And I like too another thing with the DC references, like where the cops keep calling Peacemaker and everybody, they call them capes. Like, it reminds me of The Boys where they say suits and stuff. Yeah. But like, I like when she was like, why did we bring him here? I thought we automatically bring capes to either Belle Reve or Arkham. Mm-hmm. Like, I just love like just that throwaway line like that. Like, it's so world buildy, and not even world buildy, just like acknowledging the world that it's in. Mm-hmm. And I just love that stuff. I love that.
Maybe the greatest opening credits scene ever done.
Absolutely.
That just whole sequence is so funny, and the dance that they choreographed. And I said this to Sean too, and I don't know if anybody else had this like question, but I asked Sean, I was like, is the eagle real? Because it looks really good. Mm-hmm. And I saw like James Gunn did a tweet, and I think somebody tweeted like the same question, and he was like, oh no, it's done by
Weta
company. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit. I was like,
it looks so real.
It looks really real. Because there was things that the eagle would do, and I was like, I don't know if you can train an eagle to, like, can you train it to hug somebody?
Well, that's what Peacemaker says. They go, can you train those things? And he goes, you can't train an eagle without taking its soul, or without killing its soul.
Or even when it like nips at what's her name? It's like tries to bite her, kind of.
Yeah, Leota.
And I'm like, can you like
do that on command?
Yeah,
does she have food in her pocket or something? Yeah. Like, is it a trained? But then no, it's completely.
And you might be like, it's clearly CG. But honestly, like, if you look at it, it looks really real.
It's. I would say it's the real, because it has. There's no, what do I say? There's no like personified like character, like appearance or attributes or anything. It is just straight up what an eagle looks like in nature. Like, so there's no additional stuff or anything like that. So it looks so real.
Eagly.
Yeah. So good. Oh yeah, and then the last thing I'll say too is just I'm really loving this version of Vigilante. So like, so I sent you that thing where I was like, never forget, but like, I love the Arrow version of Adrian Chase and stuff, and all that. That was one of the best villains that was on that show. Way darker, way more of a psychopath on that. Well, this one's definitely a psychopath, but way more of a serious tone psychopath. Like that. Well, you don't care about Arrow spoilers for Arrow, but like that version of Adrian Chase, like kidnapped Oliver's son and like was going to shoot his son like in front of Oliver if he didn't like it was it was very dark, but like it was a super dark version of Vigilante. Well, actually they flipped it around because they didn't make Adrian Chase Vigilante. He was just referred to as Adrian Chase basically the whole show, but he was super dark. But I love this, I would say equally dark, but way more comedic version of it.
Real quick, like, this might be a dumb question too. Is Vigilante the guy from the restaurant that was like dance? Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, I like could not remember what he looked like, and I was like, is that him?
Peacemaker's like, oh, that's
the so-and-so's brother.
Yeah, he was like, that's my old buddy Gut Chase's brother. And as soon as he said Chase, I was like, oh, okay, so this is Adrian Chase.
Okay, like, gotcha.
I don't know what Gut Chase's real first name is, but
I also had no idea that the helmets had like different powers. Like the one he had on in the first episode was like the repulsor or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not as familiar with it in the comics, but I think that's more of just a show thing.
Oh, okay.
Like, but I love that. Like that I love that he's like, he's like, this one will and there's like a post-credit scene that was like, this one will inject you with like some like hallucinogen.
Yeah, I missed the post. Apparently, there's post credits.
With every episode.
With every episode?
Yeah.
Oh no!
With every episode, it's very quick. Like it's a lot of.
Are they like plot important at all? Or? No. Okay.
Not so far at least, but they are funny. Like the first one is his dad telling him that he's like I don't know. I'll just say like, I don't know, like heroin or something.
Okay.
But it's not that. It's some other drug. But he's like this one will oh no, never mind. Totally wrong. He says this one will give you scabies. He was like, every grown man should go through having scabies. He's like, Dad, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like that's what it is. But yeah, I know, I love that stuff with the helmets that he's like, and then I like that we saw that like the sonic boom one. Mm-hmm. That is so cool. Yeah. And just the effect on that, like it was so awesome. And And that's like stuff. It like reminds me of like the Hawkeye trick arrows. You're like, what can and we know from the trailers and stuff. He goes through a couple of the helmets, so hopefully we can see more of them. But yeah, I'm super excited. Do we know how many episodes this show is?
I don't think so.
It's probably like 8 or something.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably around there. Did they ever say if it was like a limited series type thing or no?
I think for now it's limited. I think no matter what, if I had to guess, it probably won't be James Gunn writing and directing if they do another season, just because he doesn't have the time, or vice versa. It's going to be like 5 years until Peacemaker season 2, like one of those two options. But yeah, you want to talk a little Euphoria, and then we can get into the lists. So I have some. This is what I have 8 episodes, by the way. So we're still less than halfway through.
This is what you have some thoughts on? Is what we're gonna say?
Yeah, I have some strong thoughts on Euphoria season 2.
All right. Well, so far for me so far, I'm really loving it.
Okay.
I shouldn't say loving it. I really like it. Because it really is like it's not. And I don't know if you saw this video, but did you see the video of? They must have been doing press for something. It was like Zendaya and Hunter Schafer and I think a few other people. And this like child comes up to ask a question about Euphoria, and Zendaya's like, "Are you actually watching?" Like the voice is clearly like a very young person, and she's like, "Are you like watching this show?" Because it's very much not for kids. Like
Zendaya she even posted. She was like to the adults. She was like, "I want to let you guys know like." If you thought last season was, a lot of heavy stuff, like she was like, she even said, she was like, I feel your support in other ways. She was like, go watch Dune, go watch Spider-Man or something. But she was like, I feel your support in other ways. But if you're not mentally or emotionally prepared to watch this, please don't watch it.
Yeah.
It's not even just the content. It's like the context is just like, it's so heavy. Like, it's just so heavy. But yeah.
Yeah.
What did the kids say? Or what?
I don't remember what the question was that she asked, but she was just like, Zendaya was just like, "Are you like watching this show?" Like, and she seemed very concerned because again, like, I don't think any kid I don't even think maybe if you're under the age of 18, probably you should be watching this. Maybe there's a cutoff there or somewhere. But yeah, it's a very heavy show. But here's my so I feel like I go back and forth with a lot of characters. One. Hate Nate. He sucks. I don't care what he does. He's not going to be redeemed. And when he got hit in the head with the bottle, I went, yes, thank you. Because this is what I needed him to get got.
Wait, what are you talking? Who's talking about redeeming him?
No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Like,
I thought that
was to happen.
I thought that was like talk that people were having.
No. I don't think so.
I wanted him to. I'll let you finish your thought. I'll pull a Kanye real quick. I wanted Fezco to brutally murder him. I don't know why they pull like that. Just pissed me off so much that he didn't just finish it. And I get that like then it would be like Fezco is a straight up murderer in front of all these people, so that would be like kind of end his character. But I wish he would have finished the job. Continue. I rooted too when he hit him with the bottle.
I think he got what he deserved. I kind of saw it coming the way he got up and everything like that.
Yeah.
And he's got himself in quite a predicament, might I add.
Fezco?
Nate with
with his father,
Cassie and Maddie. And
everything.
His dad,
everything.
Too.
Yeah.
But even like season 1 when he like was freaking out. With it, like banging his head again. You remember that scene?
Oh yeah.
I was like, this dude's got some problems.
He's unhinged, man.
He needs help, like serious help. Me and Danielle are on the Fezco and Lexi train.
Absolutely.
They had better end up together.
Lexi
she went to the store.
Of fresh air.
She went to the store, and it was unfortunately ruined by Nate's dad. But I was like, they got a connection, and we need to see more of it. Let's see.
I just hope that it doesn't tarnish Lexi. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But she wasn't even like, she was like, when he hit Nate over the head with the bottle, she was kind of like taken aback. But at the same time, she was kind of like, okay, like, like she wasn't like, oh my God, I can't, like now. But she still went to the store.
Yeah.
So clearly she wasn't like
she was
like
bothered, like what she
like,
said. She was like she like intrigues him. She's like, how can he be so nice? How could he be so nice and talking to me, and then a minute later, almost beat Nate to death?
Yeah. I am on another train I'm on is I can't, and I know all these characters are going through a lot. Okay, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And but the thing with me is like when Jules left Rue at the train station.
Okay, all right.
I said I can't.
I can't go back.
I can't go back right now. Like
they went back so easily.
They did.
It pissed me off.
But at the same time, it's the relationship of you cannot put your sobriety on this person because that's just something you can't do.
Yeah.
Like, but at the same time, I was like, you can't just leave her. Like, you can't leave her at the train station and go to New York.
Exactly. Like you can't.
Or where was she going? Not New York, right?
She was. I forget.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
She was going somewhere. Some city.
Seattle, maybe.
No, it must have been like L.A. or something, because they live in California.
Yeah. So. No, that's what I know. It was just a different city to where they were in, basically.
Right.
Freaking bots! God damn it.
Oh boy.
Can't have a good time. Thanks for the view, though. Sorry, guys. 1 sec. All right, there we go. Yeah, so I feel like you and I are on the same page with a lot of this stuff. I loved season 1.
Mm.
I really like season 2, but I have been talking with my roommate about this a lot. Like with the Nate stuff, you have to maintain with a villainous character, if you want to say that. You have to maintain a certain level of you love to hate them. I'm just starting to hate watching the Nate scenes. And like to me, I'm just like, I need you to pull it back a little. And I know that's just my personal opinion. My roommate has no problem with it. She's like, it's still part of the story and like I like watching and stuff. But for me, it's just like it's just getting to be so it's like so uncomfortable and aggressive and stuff that like I don't enjoy I tense up, and I know that partly that's what the show's trying to do to you, to say like this is real life stuff, this is what happens in real life, and it's like I get that, but
no high school I ever went to, I can tell you that.
Yeah, dude, not this bad, and I know that's the meme everywhere on TikTok with like, oh, I went to Euphoria High School or whatever, but and I get that it's a realistic look, but it's like way more like it's realistic-ish, but like turned up to 11.
Oh yeah.
Like this is like if all the high school experiences happened to the same group of 6 people. You know what I mean? It's like but yeah, the Nate stuff is really just starting to get to me with I'm just like, okay, can we do like that's why I really actually thought it would have been so refreshing for the show if they had just killed him. Like I would have been more.
That would suck because I don't think Fez as a character deserves to.
No, absolutely
be
not.
Locked up for the rest of his life.
Absolutely not. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like something has to happen with it because it's like, where do you even go from here? Like this guy is so messed up and is controlling so much of the situation, but then at the same time, Maddie has the disc to hold over.
She's also crazy.
Yeah, no,
sorry,
absolutely.
Like, she's also
100%
psycho.
Crazy. Yeah, and it's like these people, like, I guess what I mean with like I hope that it doesn't like what did I say? I hope it doesn't like tear down Lexi at all going down this path is because it's like Cassie like clearly is a very good person, like to quote Sirius Black, she's a very good person that bad things have happened to. Like she is like I just am rooting for the good people to just get out of this shitstorm, and the people that are causing the shitstorm die right along with it. You know what I mean? Like I don't give a shit. Like I think I agree 100%. I think Fezco does not deserve that. So have Ashtray kill him or something. Have Ashtray. I thought Ashtray was gonna kill his dad when he got the gun out of the cereal box.
Yeah,
I was like, this guy.
You thought he was pulling for a gun because he brought the gun in, I think, to the store, didn't he?
No, he did. He had the gun.
That's what I mean. But
absolutely. And I thought because when Ashtray killed Mouse in the big spoilers for Euphoria, when he killed Mouse in the first episode or whatever, like, I thought he was gonna get trigger happy again and just kill him before he even pulled the gun.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just certain aspects of it are just starting to piss me off, and it's like I hope that we don't just go into a retread as well of season 1. Like, I can already see where the Kat storyline is going, that she's gonna ruin the relationship with Ethan because
I'll tell you what, man.
She can't be happy or whatever.
That in season 1 when he's just talking to that girl and she goes off and has sex with this guy from high school however many years ago. I was like, I just felt like that was a little like much.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe just like ask, like, oh, who is that? Like, you don't have to. And again, maybe I'm just being like, what's the word? Like not understanding or like type of that. But that just seemed like a little bit too much for me. Because I felt kind of bad for that guy because he was kind of like, or I forget the kid's name that they're dating now.
Ethan.
Yeah. Because I was like, he really likes her and he wants to get to know her and he's just talking to his sister's friend, I guess, and it's just, I don't know.
It's the same. It's the same thing now with this season. Like, they're together, but it's like, she's like, well, why can't I love Ethan? And I get that, like, Kat's a main character and Ethan's not. So it's like, we're going to see things from her perspective and what she's going through and stuff. But I'm like, can't anybody be happy in this show? Like, at a certain point, I guess the question is, why are we watching these events? You know what I'm saying? Like, who is this for? I don't know if that makes any sense. But I just hope that I just don't want it to be a retread of season 1, and I want them to start doing some more interesting things with, I feel like a lot of it so far has just been more of, how much of a shitstorm can we, how interwoven can we, how tightly can we wind this up? You know what I mean? And then it's like, well, what's it all leading to?
Right.
What am I being wound up for? You know what I mean? And it's like, granted, it's second episode of the season,
right?
So there's a lot more to come, but I just hope that the payoff is worth it, I guess. Because it's a lot to watch. It's a lot. It's a lot to go through every week.
It's a lot, and I'm sure it's gonna get
even
more
worse.
And more worse. What is your so? I feel like one of the big questions of this show is, who is the third brother? All right, Nate has. You see one. He has one brother, but in the family picture, there's another brother, but there's never a mention of him, ever. And I don't know if there's been speculation that Ashtray is the long lost brother, which to me doesn't make any sense. And I'm hoping it's because it is very clear that he's walking up his stairs and they have like those family pictures, and it's clear that there's another brother, but it's just not talked about. So I feel like you have to weave that into why he is the way he is. And if they don't, I will be very disappointed because it's clear that you're trying to make it you're showing us that there is someone else.
Yeah.
But we still don't know who it is yet.
I feel like.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I feel like they, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be just something real fucked up. Like.
Oh yeah. I mean, it probably will be.
Like, I don't know. I don't know how you would do it, but I wouldn't be past. And I won't spoil what this means for it if you haven't watched the show. I wouldn't put it past them doing something that says that, like, somehow Jules is the other.
Oh my God! The other brother. Can you?
And then crazy. Everything that would mean for what's happened with Jules and that family, and their dad. But.
I don't think that's what it'll be.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put it past the show.
No, I agree. I totally agree. Yeah.
I would not put it past them to be like, that's the twist or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. But that's my thing is that I'm like, I just like, okay, what are we getting to? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not like a Marvel or Star Wars show or any of these other shows.
Yeah.
It's like we're leading up to this big enemy or something like that.
Yeah, it's
it's just we're going through life and all this shit's happening.
And if it's just I don't know, if it's just like a slice of life thing, I don't know if I can put myself through going through that and watching that every single week. Just to watch it, you know what I mean? Like, if there's no satisfaction, if there's no catharsis coming through, if there's no light at the end of the tunnel for this, maybe not this season, but the show at least, then I don't know what the hell all this has been for. You know what I mean? I don't know. And we haven't even really, I mean, we talked a little bit about it, but we haven't even really talked about Rue.
Yeah.
Like Zendaya. But she's pissing me off too.
That shit, when she's in the laundry room with, I don't know his name.
What's his name? Yeah.
Hold on.
It's like Caleb or something. Starts with a C, I think.
Elliot.
Oh,
I think that's, Dominic Fike, correct? That's the actor? Yeah, Elliot. And she's like...
okay. Danielle said the other brother is way younger, so it wouldn't make sense. But yeah. But she also said, she was like, I think they're gonna reveal that like Nate killed him by accident or something like that. I guarantee. Crazy. Yeah, it's gonna be something crazy like that.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. What's his name again? Elliot. When she's like, I need you to count my heartbeat. I was like, this is crazy. I was like, if you like die right here, like. What's he gonna, like that's a lot to put on somebody that you're just doing drugs with. Like, can you count my heartbeat? That's
what he says.
He's and she goes, oh, I thought I almost lost it there. I was like,
what? He even goes like, he's like, but we've done the same drugs. And she's like, no, I did way more.
Yeah, no.
And like now she's doing like heroin and stuff. Like, and also I feel like we're losing the thread. Granted, it came back in the second episode, but I feel like we're losing the thread a little bit with like her family and the Ali, the NA.
I'm a big Ali fan. By the way.
Absolutely,
I like Ali.
Yeah. But I just feel like we're losing that thread a little bit. Like I feel like Rue in the first season was very much the central figure of the show, and I feel like this season almost I feel like the main storyline almost is the Nate, Maddie, Cassie. Like
love triangle.
The New Year's Eve situation. I feel like that's the main thing. And again, like I said too, I just feel like her and Jules just got back together way fast.
I would agree with that. I do kind of agree with that.
I thought it was happening in their heads when all the lights dimmed out and it was just the two of them, and they were like, I've been wanting to tell you, but like, I love you. I thought it was going to be like one of them was like tripping or like it was Rue, like, oh, that's what she wishes would happen. But then they were just like, no, that's what it did happen. They're back together again. And I was like, they were broken up for like what? Like a month? Like if that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But that's my thoughts on it.
I was going to say something. I completely forgot.
This is going to be a long show.
Oh, yeah. We should probably wrap up this topic. But, yeah, I'm excited to see like where this second season goes and how they, I'm assuming it's probably renewed already for a third. Here's what I want to know: where was this in Malcolm and Marie? Because for me, like the writing is better in this, and I remember I think we both Malcolm and Marie. It just felt also like it's supposed to kind of feel like this kind of, it flows kind of, we're just a couple talking in this house.
Yeah.
But it felt very scripted. And with this, I feel like it's more kind of fluid. Is that just me?
It feels more natural.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened to Sam Levinson when he was writing Malcolm and Marie, but you're hitting out of the park, in my opinion, with Euphoria.
Boom. Yeah.
All right. So
that's some TV talk time.
Yeah.
Top 10. Let's get on with these freaking lists. All right. So I think we're just going to go for it. Top 10 2021, our individual personal top 10s with everything factored into it. Enjoyment, quality, everything that our personal taste is basically. I'll say I know for both of us, just this year was more of a struggle with, everything going on and stuff like that. More of a struggle to get in everything we wanted to watch. We usually like to watch, as much as we can to make this list. I know something, a lot of stuff slipped through the cracks for me. Like, I know one of the ones we were talking about, like, Come On with Joaquin Phoenix. For me, like, Ghostbusters Afterlife, that probably would have had a good shot of getting on there because it's gotten such great reviews and stuff, and I am a big fan of Ghostbusters. I just haven't gotten the chance to see it. Now it's out of theaters, and it's $25 on stream, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to pay $25 for just watching it once type of thing. But that being said, we will see some of these titles closer to, like, when the Oscars come out. We always like to watch all the best pictures and as much of the Oscar nominated stuff as we possibly can. So, but yeah, and we're doing the full bottom five, punting, all that. All right, cool.
We could do. Do you have any honorable mentions? Because I have.
Yeah, I do. Do you want to do those first?
Yeah, we'll just get them out of the way.
You're gonna kill me.
Okay. There's a movie on my list that I was like, that was 2021?
There was so many like that, yeah.
So real quick for me, no particular order. These are my honorable mentions. I have The Suicide Squad. I have The Last Duel. I have The Tragedy of Macbeth. I have Shang-Chi. I have Pig, In the Heights, and Spencer.
Okay.
You're like, well, you just named my whole list.
Okay. Wow. All right. So I only have 3 honorable mentions.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff that could have been honorable mentions, but I kept the honorable mentions tight because I think I want to honor them with a mention.
Okay.
But there are other movies that I really loved this year. But, I made the list, and I came up with 13 titles. 3 of them are honorable mentions, and this is what they are. And I ranked them, too. 13 is a streaming movie from earlier in the year. Fantastic movie. Can't remember if you watched it or not. Steven Soderbergh. No Sudden Move.
No Sudden Move. I did watch it.
Yeah, yes. No Sudden Move to me. It stuck with me. I loved it at the time, and it stuck with me come the end of the year. I haven't watched it since. I've only watched it once, but I remember how great it was. And just, Kieran Culkin, Brendan Fraser, spoiler alert, surprise. I wouldn't even say cameo. He's a character in the movie, but surprise character, Matt Damon, very good in it. Mm-hmm. And then obviously the 2 and David, and then really the 3 main leads, which is David Harbour, Don Cheadle, and Benicio del Toro. Amazing. But really what it comes down to is it's the writing. It's got that quick, fast, have you on the edge of your seat, Steven Soderbergh stuff that you get like from the Ocean's movies. Oh,
crap. Sorry. I'd probably throw Power of the Dog on there, too.
Okay, cool. My number 12. Hey, I got to do it to you. My number 12. I loved this movie, but it is my number 12. No Time to Die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. But like I said, loved that movie. So good. Such a great closing for Daniel Craig. And then my number 11 is Mitchell's versus the Machines. That was a big pain to not put.
That
on
was
the top
one
10.
of them, and I was like, that was 2021. Yeah. I thought it was 2020.
It was like February. It was like the end of February. It was super early. But yeah,
you know what? I'll toss that. That was a very surprisingly good.
Yeah, it was fantastic. If you have a family, or if you just enjoy great movies, watch Mitchell's versus the Machines. It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix movie. Watch it. It's very, very good. It's just super good. It's made by the guys that made Spider-Verse. It's the Lego Movie. Phil Lord, Chris Miller. Great stuff. But yeah, that's my number 11.
Okay.
So then from here, what we do is you want to start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so TJ will do his bottom 5. Then I'll do my bottom 5. He'll do his next 2. I'll do my next 2, and then we'll trade one apiece until we've revealed our personal top 10 lists. And then, we also have the punting and stuff that we borrowed from the Top 10 show. Go check them out. John Roca and Matt Nost, great guys, great show. Where basically that means, so if TJ says something that in his bottom 5, but it's in my top 5, we'll punt it and we'll basically honor the movie with the higher conversation. So we'll give it the higher number to talk about it. Basically, you'll catch on once we actually get going. So you want to hit us with your number 10?
Yeah. So my number 10 is a movie I actually just watched last night.
Okay.
It's called Mass. Have you heard of this? It was on Chris Stuckman's.
I have heard of it in the sense that I opened Letterboxd yesterday and I said, "Oh, Danielle and TJ just watched this movie."
Yeah. So it's really I don't want to like spoil anything. It's really just 4 people in a room kind of talking through this difficult topic, and it's filled of emotion. It's filled with a lot of stuff, and I recommend you don't watch a trailer if you're going to watch
Jason
it.
Isaacs in it,
It
right?
does have Jason Isaacs. Yep. I highly recommend you don't watch a trailer. You don't read a description. You just watch it. You have to rent it. It's like $5.
Oh, okay.
But
I'll drop a $5 rental.
Right. But if you don't watch the trailer or description or anything, it's very like we're peeling back the layers of why we're having this conversation, and then it's like boom, it hits you, and then it gets really into a topic that is also very prevalent in today's world. Mm-hmm. So it's not talking about something from like 30 years ago. It's something that happens, unfortunately, too often in this country. And
I think
yeah. So I highly recommend you watch it. And everybody's great in it. Jason Isaacs included.
I definitely know what the topic is
based
on what I thought it was, and then I remember what the title is.
Oh, well, yeah.
That sounds fucked up. I'm probably gonna watch that tonight.
Yeah,
because I have blood work in the morning. I can't eat anything, so I got to preoccupy my mind before I go to bed. So hopefully it'll put me to sleep, in like a good way. I mean, because I love. To me, I really love Jason Isaacs. Like as soon as I saw you guys watched it, I didn't read the synopsis or anything. I just jumped right to the cast, and I was like, oh, okay, Jason Isaacs, that's a win for me. All right, so great, wow, yeah, and that's your number 10.
Yeah,
wow, okay, so that must be really good. Hit me with your 9.
My 9 is Nobody.
What's Nobody? Oh my God! Yeah, okay. Now I'll throw that on as an
Nobody.
honorable
When I was
mention.
making the list, I was like, "This was 2021.
Yeah,
I thought it was 2020."
I'll throw that as an honorable mention, a worthy honorable mention. Like I said, there's a lot that I would put on Black Widow, that kind of thing, but I'm not including those as honorable mentions because they're not at that caliber. Right. Nobody, I thought, was really
good. Great. Bob Odenkirk. You don't expect him to be able to do this John Wick type role.
Yeah,
but he knocks out of the park. All the action's great.
I mean, the man survived a heart attack, so I don't think there's anything you can't do.
The story's great, and I'm excited. I forget how it ends, but there could be a sequel, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And it made a good amount. With the pandemic and stuff, like it made a lot on PVOD, and it made a good amount for the theaters it was in.
Right.
So I wouldn't be surprised if it does get a sequel, and I feel like just general consensus, people love it, like rightfully so, and he was electric in it, so awesome, cool.
Yeah.
Your number 8.
My number 8 is No Time to Die.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was just a great send off for Daniel Craig. I took my dad to see this movie, so it has a little more special place in my heart, I guess. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's one of the better send off James Bond movies, I feel like, for an actor. Because I feel like Sean Connery's wasn't great. I don't remember which one Roger Moore's was, but I don't think it was also. It was Pierce Brosnan's movies weren't really that great.
Wasn't Roger Moore's like, Her Majesty's Secret Service or something? Wasn't it like he was? It was
Her Majesty's Secret Service was George Lazenby.
Oh, that was just the one individual. Yeah. But I forget the name of it, but oh my God.
Sean Connery?
No.
Pierce Brosnan?
Roger Moore. I almost said George Miller. That is not the right thing at all. I forget the name of it, but everybody always says that Roger Moore's last one was like way too late. Like, because he was so old in the last one. So it was like the movie was okay. Oh, I think his last one was From Russia with Love or something. Oh, okay. But they were like, he was like way past when it should have been.
No, sorry. From Russia with Love was Sean Connery, I think.
Oh, okay. Then I got
but his last one was A View to a Kill, which I very much disliked. I hated View to a Kill.
Yeah, that was his last one. Yeah, like I said, I cannot name the ones like he can, but So I feel like too. Also, this was the one that was like, it was a different send off too, because again, it's like everybody talks about, these movies weren't just the same actor. It was these movies were the same story.
Right.
So it was like you could almost pre-bake in. Now, granted, they were all the same story, but this one, the last one, it was linked to the other stories, but like it was also its own thing. Like, it was a new villain coming in. It was a new threat type of thing that ended. I thought it was just really good with the fact that they knew that it was his last one. I feel like they really gave us everything, and also like, the interconnecting. Last shot, exactly. Everything. And I feel like the last shot is like, it's really touching with like the I won't say what it is,
even though was like, well, you know what? Never mind. We won't spoil it.
Yeah. But go
check it out. No Time Definitely. So my number 7 is Encanto.
That is a pun.
I figured. And my number 6 is Coda.
I have not watched it yet, and I hate myself because I have it. Like, right, I use your Apple TV. I just literally I just haven't gotten around to watch it, which sucks because when I watched the trailer earlier in the year, I was like, oh my god, this looks so good. It's your number 6. God damn, man. I wish I watched
It's a really nice, heartfelt story. Coda, child of deaf adults. So her parents are deaf, her brother's deaf, and she's the only one that can hear out of her family. Yeah. And it's a nice story of like, they rely on her very much, and she wants to go do the singing thing, and it's balancing the two thing, taking care of her family and by like translating for them
her own
ambitions, her own
wants.
Yeah, and it's a really like nice story and a great movie, so I highly suggest it.
What do you think I should watch tonight, Coda or Mass? If I had to watch one,
I don't know. Are you trying to be sad or depressed in some way, or kind of like like feel good kind of? I guess
probably feel good. So maybe.
So Coda. Probably Coda.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We can watch. I'll watch Mass tomorrow night when I got nothing going
on. Yeah. So that's it for me. For my right. That's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. What did Danielle say in the chat? Coda was your number 6? Question mark? I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I really liked Coda.
All right, let's see. So my number 10. I feel like I'm gonna get crucified over this list. But I will say, so my number 10 is Spiral, Book of Saw. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. I thought you were serious.
I'm just joking. No, but I will talk about Spiral in a second after I say what my number 10 is. My number 10 is The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Okay.
We talked about it last week. My absolute, like, undoubted, I'm a decent to big, I would say, horror fan, but like undoubtedly my 2 favorite franchises is Saw and then The Conjuring stuff. So like, but what I said earlier to my roommate was, I was like, they both had new entries this year. This is my number 10. Spiral would make maybe a top 10 worse.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, like, no, that's what I mean. Like, just how you misstep so hard with Spiral. I don't know, but The Conjuring 3 for me was not a misstep at all. I think, if anything, it was getting things back on track. Because, like I said, I really liked Annabelle Comes Home. That was like 2 years ago. I really liked The Nun. That was like 2 or 3 years ago. Lately, I have not like The Curse of La Llorona. I did not care about, but like this really brought me back to the franchise, and like really was like, damn, this is good. Like, and also it was just good filmmaking. And yeah, it's a horror movie, so it's not peak cinema, if you want to call it that. But once again, Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson are just like bring down the house with their performances as Ed and Lorraine Warren. Like, they are just so good in those roles. They are them. You know what I mean? Like, it's like there's no question about how good they are in there. And this one like really made me feel for their relationship to each other. Like it doesn't put it in jeopardy, but it's just like it's been over a decade like since the first Conjuring. Like they're not old by any means, but they're firmly in their middle age now. I would say that like the two characters. So you know, I guess light spoiler, it happens very early in the movie, but like Ed has a heart attack, and like so he's dealing with that like for like the fallout of that for the rest of the movie, and so he can't be like as active as he normally is in, you know, their dealings and in the movies and stuff like that. And I really like the way that like it kind of plays on like Lorraine's worry of like, you know, if she had lost him, like what, first of all, what would they do like for a livelihood, because they're kind of a package deal. Second of all, like that's her husband, like, and like I say, you just buy these two actors. I mean, they've been playing these characters for almost, you know, a decade now, so it's like it just was really good. And I thought the story was really good too. I thought it was interesting. I said this when it was part of my most anticipated was I liked the fact that they kind of had more of like a courtroom edge. It wasn't as much of the movie as I thought it was going to be, but I think it was good enough. And I liked that aspect that it was like kind of brought like a court case into it. But yeah, I really enjoyed that movie. And like I said, it's my number 10. You know, it's not my number 1, but it made it enough because I really enjoyed it. My number 9... I don't know. This might not make your list. Maybe it will. This is a very, very good movie that is elevated so much higher by its two lead performances. And that is number 9 is The Eyes of Tammy Faye. On your list?
That is not on my list,
okay.
though.
Yeah, just like I said, it's a very, very good movie. But for me, the movie just bumps up enough to get onto the list because of the two lead performances. Like with Jessica Chastain and Andrew Garfield, they're just like
Tammy Faye.
Yeah, exactly.
That was
like,
my best. That was my best Jim Baker impression.
He goes, he loves you. He really, really does. Like
oh my God.
So good.
What a year for that man, Andrew Garfield.
I know. Sure, it'll be the last time we talk about it. But yeah, super good. It's on HBO Max right now. Nobody has any excuse not to watch this movie. And I'll also give a big shout out to, I would say, like the main third character, which is Vincent D'Onofrio's Jerry Falwell.
Right, yeah.
He is so good. Like Vincent D'Onofrio is so good in this movie. Especially like towards the end when the downfall happens and like you see some of like what he does to them.
Yeah.
Like with the asking how much their salaries are and then turning it on them type of thing. Like it's just so messed up. But I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah. So very, very, very good movie, but phenomenal performances. Like I think Chastain has a great shot of getting nominated. I haven't seen, a lot of the best female performances this year. So I don't know how good her shot is to win, but I think she'll definitely be nominated for sure. All right. So my number 8 might be on your list, might not be. One of the best times I had in the theater this year. I saw it like 4 times in the theater.
Okay.
Which is Free Guy.
You can punt that.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Awesome. Wow, that actually puts a smile on my face. That's great. I thought it wasn't going to make your list.
No, it's on there.
All right, cool. That's one that I was like 2021?
Yeah.
Free Guy?
Now that I knew was this year.
It was more recent, but it's still, I was just like, something in me I feel like there's just such a disconnect from like anything pre-fall. Like, it's just
right.
like
exactly.
But speaking of pre-fall, my number 7, which I think was an honorable mention of yours, amazing movie, The Suicide Squad. Really freaking just rocked my socks off. Loved this movie. James Gunn absolutely obliterated it out of the park. Yep. And not just the James Gunn aspect, but the supporting characters and the whole team in general, just absolutely great. Such a great movie, such a great ensemble. even the little things, and really like the heartwarming message, which is what James Gunn always does so well, is, you know, messages of family and, you know, teams and stuff like he does all that stuff so well with the Guardians movies, with this movie, and then with Peacemaker too. So good. Just love this movie so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And my number 6, which also was an honorable mention of yours, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Movie, you know.
It's a great movie.
Blew me away. So good. Just a quality film. Great entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Simu Liu, fantastic. The direction is amazing.
Fight choreography.
The fight choreography is some of the best that we've ever seen in the MCU or in recent years of action movies, to be honest. R.I.P. Brad Allen, who, you know, did most of the action choreography in this movie and then unfortunately passed away. But, you know, he was a protege of Jackie Chan's and stuff, so a lot of it is direct influence from that. So it's just really stellar stuff, like the bus fight. And then also the final battle, like, it was insane, like, with, you know, happening in basically another dimension with, like, 2 kaijus fighting each other, like in a Marvel movie. Like, it was awesome. And also just, you know, seeing Sean, or, you know, Shang-Chi, you know, whatever you want to call him, come into his own at the end of the movie with learning to use the rings for himself, but also just, you know, it sounds cheesy, but like a lot of the stuff with him and Michelle Yeoh's character, like her explaining to him that like the power is like from within himself and like all that stuff. Like, I just really loved it. Yeah, I really love that. That was my 6. So,
okay,
what is your number 5?
My number 5 is King Richard.
I did not get to see that.
King Richard is a fantastic.
Tell the truth. Wrong movie.
Fantastic movie. Knockout performance by everybody. Will Smith definitely will be nominated. And it was just
Aaron Cummings.
Yep, she's
nominated.
She's in it for like 5 minutes. But I definitely think John Berthel, another person who was great in it. But everybody's great. But just the story of, you know, Serena and Venus, and, you know, them kind of going through their kind of early years playing tennis, and, you know, where they go and how they, and you kind of see them evolving, and you see like, oh, that's how we got, you know, here. It's just fantastic to watch. I really
for like the
loved
journey of it.
The journey, yeah. And, you know, there's some great scenes, some great, like, just like tennis scenes too. Especially like kind of the ending tournament final match. It was really fantastic.
Nice. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I gotta watch it. It was on HBO Max. I feel like
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like that's a movie I could have watched.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. What can you do?
All right, so you're 5, right?
Yes, my 5. Okay, so my 5 is the pun from earlier, Encanto. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. So now I know you've watched it since last week. Great movie, great songs, great message, great characters, great performances, everything. I love this movie.
I don't know. I'm still not a grandma fan, even after the whole pot. Still not a fan of her.
She's a bitch.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. Yeah, sorry for the language, but that's what I mean, is that's what I didn't want to spoil. I think I was hinting at it last week, or it might have been 2 weeks ago, when I was like, had just watched it like twice in a row. That's who I was hinting at, that I was like, it's basically, a lot of the movie is, the message is like about the generational divide in families, which I feel like is something that doesn't get hinted at. Like, I feel like Coco kind of hinted at it with like the grandma, like, you know, no music, but that was more of like a comical aspect of it. This is like, no, like the generational gap in families like leads to people not communicating, and leads to huge problems with the family. Like, and I thought, you know, not to say that, you know, it's anything that my situation or people that I know, but, you know, it's a real thing. Like, that happens in a lot of families, no matter what your culture is, or no matter you know, when it is. And and I thought it nailed that dynamic and brought it completely center stage, center, ring, shine a light on it. And I thought it really did a lot of good work with that, I guess. Like, really, you realize, like, spoiler alert for Encanto, spoilers, that really it's the grandma's fault. It's like that, like, it's even the grandma's fault of why Maribel didn't get a gift. Like, that was the first time that she had ever doubted the magic, and because of her doubting it, she didn't get her gift. Mm-hmm. And it's like,
going into the movie too, I was like, oh, we're gonna, we lose the magic and we're gonna go on this grand big adventure, and it's like, no, it's an adventure inside, and even the what's his name, Bruno, he's in the house. Sorry, spoiler. He's right there. Like, you don't have to go searching for this person. They've always been there. But yeah, I agree. Fantastic.
Okay, so then
my number 4. Yeah, because you said your 5, right?
Did you say your 4?
No.
What was your 5?
My number 5 was King Richard.
Okay, yeah.
My number 4, this is probably a shock to you, Free Guy.
Wow.
I loved Free Guy. Granted,
yeah,
Taika Waititi didn't totally work for me at times.
Okay.
But everything else I loved. I loved the relationship between the two main characters. All the video game aspects was great. Just even like the background, like the one player just running into the wall, like not knowing what they're doing, and all just like kind of the either cameo or type,
like the references,
like the references. Yeah, like there's the Fortnite thing. There was
the lightsaber,
the
shield,
lightsaber,
the Hulk hands.
The Hulk hands, like all that stuff. Like, I just loved all of it. Like I said though, the only thing,
Channing Tatum,
Channing Tatum,
the Thanos snap,
right,
or the Thanos glove. Says. Oh God, it's
again, the only thing that didn't quite work for me was Taika Waititi.
Just over the top.
He over the top, like, nah, I didn't really need it.
He was very caricature,
and just
like,
kind of the
guy.
end with Joe Keery and that whole thing. I loved it.
Oh, I thought you were about to say you didn't. I thought you were going to say that didn't work. Yeah, no, yeah. I think Joe, like, as great as Ryan Reynolds is, the heart of the movie is definitely Joe Keery and Jodie Comer. Like, they're so so good.
I always like forget her name for some reason.
Yeah, same.
I don't know why.
What's it called? Yeah, such a great movie. Really, really loved it. I hope they do another one. I really hope they do another one. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you would do to be like, put the world they created in jeopardy again or something, but you could do something.
Yeah. And going into the movie too, I feel like you just, like, I was automatically skeptical because of the whole video game aspect of it, and not that it is a direct adaptation of a video game movie or a video game, but it's all those, those usually tend not to work out. But yeah, my number 4, Free Guy.
Nice. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I agree 100%. Great movie. Something you probably won't agree with.
Oh boy.
My number 4 is Tick Tick Boom.
That's a pun.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so then what is your number 3?
My number 3, maybe it'll shock you. I'm not sure. My number 3 is Dune.
Really?
Yeah, I really love Dune. There's just 2 movies ahead of Dune that I really, really love for this year, and I really want to watch them again. Mm-hmm. And I want to watch Dune again too. The Steelbook sitting on my shelf. I haven't popped it in yet, but yeah, Dune I thought was a great adaptation of the book. Again, I feel like I'm also a sucker for any Denis Villeneuve film. It was beautiful. It was amazingly acted. And it was just amazing to view and to watch in IMAX, and just the scope of the movie. That looks dope. That's a dope poster. Is that just like official poster?
It's official artwork from Warner Brothers. I guess.
But yeah, I was blown away by Dune, and I'm so excited for part 2, and to see and they're doing the show as well on HBO Max. I'm excited to see anything that Denis Villeneuve touches with Dune going forward.
Absolutely. Oh, I should have said that's a punt.
Dune is?
Yeah, I forgot to say that part. But great. I mean, there you go. We'll talk about it again. So my 3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my 3 is starring Timothée Chalamet. I don't think it made your list. My number 3 is Don't Look Up.
Oh, not on my list now.
See, this is where I knew that we were. This is the one that I knew was going to be the clear divide because when I was watching it, we were
we'd already
chatting
talked
about it. Yeah, we were talking about it. I got Vice I moved it. I was gonna say I've had Vice on that wall for years, but I just love Adam McKay movies, and I really, really loved this one. I would say I love this one more than I loved Vice. Like, I definitely, it was not on Big Short level for me. I still think that's his best movie that he's made, for a lot of different reasons. But, it's everything that you were like, I was just like, man, it's just Adam McKay, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I loved the characters. I loved the style of it. Like, it's just like, this movie just sang for me. Is it a perfect movie? No. Is it, for me at least, an amazing movie? Yeah, absolutely. Like, I love this movie. I figured at least maybe it would get a honorable mention, but I've been sitting here, I was like, and I did the math in my head, and I was like, it's not on his list. But that's fair enough. I mean, that's probably our biggest difference then. But yeah, I just loved it. I thought Leo was great. I thought Jennifer Lawrence was great. All the performances were excellent. And yeah, I mean, I know a big thing with you was like the beating us over the head with the message and stuff. But for me, I just sat there and I didn't care that I was getting beaten over the head with it. I cared that there's still so many people out there that just still don't get it.
No, yeah,
they'll never understand that the movie is about them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about the lead actors. I'm talking about the other side of the movie.
And I hate I've seen I'd seen things that were like, and I think I said it however many weeks ago. I was like, if you say like this movie's beating you over the head or whatever, this is exactly what the movie's about. I'm like, no, because I can tell you right now, I am not that person.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling like I'm getting beaten over the head.
I feel like it's the exact opposite. I feel like if you feel like you're getting beaten over the head with it, you understand the issues. Yeah. I feel like if you watch it and you're like, oh, yeah, that's a crazy movie, then you're like, no, you're the person that
they're talking
about. Like, I mean, the best scene to me is, Mark Rylance, oh, man, I'm president, come on. And then he's like, whatever I'll call her Meryl because I forgot the first name of the president. But she, he's like, and then he just, when he goes out of the room, he just like screams it. Like he just like screams, he's like, get out here. Like, and she's like, oh my God. And then just when they all, I won't spoil it, but when they all turn around and they come back and you're like, what? Like when the mission, you're like, what is happening? And then you're like, oh, of course.
Yeah.
Money. And then it's like, you did this. You literally got your head out of your ass for 5 seconds, could have fixed it. No, not could have. You would have fixed it. With that much firepower, you would have fixed it. And then it all boiled down to money. You literally, and then at the end of the day, who made it in the end? Those people. Well, I mean, then they did. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, in reality, like, that's exactly how it would be. And I feel like one of the best moments, not of acting, I guess, but of a great actress, but one of the best moments I've seen in the year so far is when Leo says, like, he's like, no, that's okay. You and Jason just, you guys go. And then when Meryl Streep just goes, Jason, oh fuck, like when she realized, like, and I was just like, yeah, Because that's the kind of person you are.
Yeah.
Like, you literally overlooked that.
Yeah.
And then just Jonah Hill's performance where he's just like, yeah, she's coming back.
She's coming back,
She'll be back. And it's like, I felt like as much of an asshole as Jonah Hill was that whole movie, like, I felt for him. I was like, bro, she's not coming back. Like, that's not happening. Like, she left. Like, I just really, really love this movie. But yeah, my number 3 is Don't Look Up. Very big win for me.
That's good. So, my number 2. You might be able to guess it, but my number 2.
Well, wait, what was your... Oh, okay.
3 was Dune.
I got you.
My number 2 is a movie that I've watched twice, and I want to watch it multiple times after. Unless I watched it. No, I watched it twice.
Wait a minute.
What?
I mean, I know what they are, but the order... You might surprise me here.
I'm not going to surprise you.
Oh, okay.
My number 2 is Tick, Tick, Boom.
Okay. I was like...
I absolutely love this movie. I still listen to a song, at least one song from the soundtrack every day, whether it be 3090 Boho Days, Therapy, Swimming, any of those songs. Like, Andrew Garfield is just so good in this movie. Everybody's great. Like, Vanessa Hudgens is great singing, and I forget like the main girl what her name is.
Isn't it Kiersey Clemens? Sorry, Alexandra Shipp.
Everybody's just
Alexandra Shipp.
Fantastic. I thought Lin-Manuel Miranda for his directorial debut did an amazing job.
Oh yeah, the direction is incredible.
And just I just love everything about this movie. I'm always like singing, like just randomly, like wherever I am, just singing one of the songs. Like, I absolutely love this movie. And this is the movie I'm championing this year. I think for maybe not best picture, but definitely best actor for Andrew Garfield, because I think he's definitely going to get a nomination. I don't know if he's going to win, but this is something where I'd be like, he should win for this because he definitely deserves it. But yeah, I absolutely love this movie. And I know you were like, you liked it, but you didn't like fully love it. And that's okay. But
I watched it again. I mean, it's my number 4. Like, I watched it again. Like, I really liked it. But yeah, the first time I definitely was like, oh yeah, I was like, it's good. Yeah. But now, like, not again. I still say the same thing with the songs. Not all the songs won for me. I think if I was like you are, like if I was like singing all the songs all the time and stuff, you know, it would have been like a grown in, you know, my mind and stuff like that, and really would have been like a big hit and stuff. But I will say, like, 3090 though, like that's in my I sing that song like it goes in my head at least once a day. Yeah. Like, because it's just so good. And Andrew Garfield's so good in it. Like,
and he's like, he's singing, and I'm like, and I think at one point me and Dan were like, is he playing the piano too? Like, is he doing all this? I don't know. Is he doing the piano? I don't know. He might be. It wouldn't shock me, honestly, at this point.
Yeah.
And then just like kind of, you know, Jonathan Larson's story is just kind of sad because, you know, he did all this work and he finally made it with Rent and this, you know, Broadway, you know, takes over Broadway, and he like passes away before, you know, everybody gets to see it, and it really is sad.
He does do the actual piano.
Wow.
Yeah.
That man is very talented.
Yeah. And he's so humble about it. Like, when he was like, yeah, I didn't even know I could really sing, and then, you know, I just, you know, the whole massage story, and it's Jesus Christ. Like, it's like, oh yeah, I didn't even realize I had this whole other aspect of my immense talent that, like, I guess I just, you know, pulled off, you know, completely. But, yeah, absolutely great movie.
Okay, your number 2.
My number 2 is the punt from earlier, starring Timothée Chalamet. Dune.
Oh, yeah.
My number 2 is Dune. I love this movie. There's only one movie that I enjoyed more than Dune, but I will say 100% without hesitation or question, for me, Dune was the highest quality film of 2021. Like, not even a question. Just my enjoyment is a little more with the other one.
Right.
But Dune itself, I mean, Jesus Christ, the first of all, the visual effects, and just the visuals themselves are some of the best we've ever seen in cinematic history. First of all, Denis Villeneuve is one of the best directors that has ever worked, and turned out another absolute hit with this one. And then the performances as well. I mean, Timothée Chalamet is incredible. Oh God,
Josh Brolin, Oscar Isaac.
What's her name?
Oh, Rebecca Ferguson.
Thank you. I kept wanting to say Jessica Ferguson.
Oh, yeah.
I was combining her and Jessica Chastain. Yeah, Rebecca Ferguson though, she like absolutely amazing, because really the two of them are really the main kind of leads of the movie. Right. Rebecca Ferguson and Timothée Chalamet. They're both great. And then like you said, Stellan Skarsgård, amazing. Oscar Isaac, amazing.
David Dashmalchian
brought it in 2021. That guy was great. Polka Dot Man. Yeah, earlier on the list. Like, really, I like Polka Dot Man. He was one of the strongest characters that whole movie of Suicide Squad. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just absolutely amazing. The Mongolian throat singers, shout out.
Oh yeah.
No, but really, just everybody. Like you said, Josh Brolin, Jason Momoa, very good. Oh, look at that right there.
Javier Bardem.
We're like thinking of what their names are, and they're right behind us. Yeah, I mean, it's on the wall. You know, it's fantastic. It's just so good. Yeah, Javier Bardem. For the 4 minutes that she's in it, Zendaya is very, very good. I'm excited to see the sequel, 100%. As well as I do not know her name, but the doctor, the head of the transition, the judge of the transition, or the judge of the change. She was very, very good. She was phenomenal in it. And without going into spoilers, but
Sharon Duncan Brewster.
Thank you. Also, what's his name? Stephen
McKinley.
Stephen McKinley Henderson. Shout out, Pancake House alum. Blueberry pancakes. Shout out. Know that guy. He was great for what he was in it. But like I said, no spoilers, but obviously it's not a spoiler to say that people do die in the movie. Every death is like
Dave Bautista.
Yeah, Dave Bautista. Like, every death is, like, felt. It's very impactful. The midsection of the movie is some of the most breathtakingly beautiful action I think that has ever been on screen, with the explosions and the visual style of the shields and stuff. And, I could talk about that for hours and hours and, days, and I probably will. But, yeah, my number 2, 100% Dune. That movie, like, is just so good, so amazing. I love that movie so much. Absolutely.
And I think we both have the same number 1. Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Talk about a movie that like had so much. Is it safe to say that it had the highest? What's it called?
Anticipation.
Yeah, anticipation of any of the MCU movies.
Yeah, I would say Endgame
Avengers original
is the only thing that would be close to it.
Yeah.
But it's a different anticipation than Endgame.
Right.
Endgame was like a culmination, like, oh, how's it all going to end? This was like, what is it about? This was like, what's going to happen? Like, but yeah, I think just pure numbers, though. I think this did, like, with anticipation tracking or audience tracking, whatever you want to say. I think this definitely was the most anticipated.
That much hype, and it lived up to it. Exceeded it, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, for me too. I think it exceeded it because there was the hype, but there was always in the back of your mind the what if it sucks? What if it sucks? Which then, by nature, lowers the hype. Right. And then when it was amazing, it just launched into the stratosphere, because the thing that we can't lose in this whole discussion about whatever we talk about with this movie in a second, yes, the enjoyment is there. The quality of this movie is one of the best movies in the MCU, one of the best movies of the year, and absolutely the best movie that John Watts has ever directed. I think it's Tom Holland's best performance.
I agree.
I think it's one of Willem Dafoe's best performances, probably his best performance since like Lighthouse. And Alfred Molina is fantastic in it. And then again, Tobey Maguire is great in it. But I feel like Andrew Garfield his performance was just so good. And granted, Tobey Maguire didn't have like that big moment to go into kind of a heavier performance. Andrew Garfield had 2 moments, the rooftop and then when he catches Zendaya. So, it's kind of unfair on that to say that Tobey didn't do as good a job. It's just Tobey was a little more surface level, I think.
I agree. Yeah.
But not his performance, just how they wrote the character. We dived.
And I feel like they wrote him again to be like Raimi universe Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
he's kind of like goofy and stuff. Like like his real big moment, which he brought it when it was his big moment with the saying when with great power comes great responsibility and like that whole thing. And then also I think another very overlooked moment that I love with Tobey's Spider-Man is when they're like, yeah, let's go kick some ass, and he's like, cure some ass, because it's like he's like don't lose sight of what we're doing. Like we don't want to hurt them. Like we're trying to help them. Like, and I really like that.
And talk about a movie that had so many leaks and stuff like that, where it was very. I said it multiple times. I feel like where I was like, I hope again in the trailer they don't reveal anything, because like that would be such a cool theater experience to see all this stuff happen. And obviously there were so many leaks with Toby and Andrew, and even Charlie Cox was leaked, and even but just to still see it and have it be like real was just like
unimaginable.
Like nobody ever thought that we would see Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield on screen as Spider-Man again, and they were right there. Together and with Tom Holland. Like, and we didn't even talk like Zendaya and Jacob Batalon were also great. And
absolutely.
Marissa Tomei, obviously, in her last performances.
Well, we already spoiled. Like, I mean,
I was thinking about it too. I was like, did I like Tick Tick Boom more? Because that was actually a conversation I had with myself, where I was like, I really love that movie, but Spider-Man was just like the hype, and it exceeded in my opinion. I could not put it at number one. And I can't wait to watch it again. I only seen it twice in there, but Steelbook's ordered. It's coming February something or other.
Yeah, I can't believe it, because I had this whole plan that I was going to watch it so many times. Like I saw Far From Home like 9 times in the theaters, but just this year has just been so rough, and I had so many stuff going on with all the different places I went to do Christmas with different people, and like just not wanting to do it because work was just frustrating stuff. Like, so I only ended up seeing. The last time I saw it was with you. That was the last time I saw it. So I've only seen it 3 times. I haven't seen it in over a month, because today's the 19th. Yeah. So the last time I saw it was the 18th. Which is like insane that it's been that long. But yeah, I mean, as soon as I get it, I'll definitely be getting the Steelbook of it, for sure. But I'll also, I'll definitely make sure I get the digital and stuff, just because I want to see it as soon as I possibly can. But yeah, just an absolute amazing movie. If you haven't watched it yet, I don't know what you're doing. If it's like a thing, granted, if it's a thing where like, you want to be safe with, like, if you're staying away from large crowds with like a theater or something, I totally get that. It'll be on VOD soon-ish. It'll be, I think they said February 18th, I think they said is the day. So like, yeah, February 18th, check it out. As soon as you can watch it, in whatever capacity that takes, basically. But yeah, absolutely great movie. Great.
All right, I just want to make sure. Let's just read off both our top 10 separate real quick, so I can cut this out. All right, so my top 10. At number 10, we have Mass. Number 9 is Nobody. Number 8, No Time to Die. Number 7, Encanto. Number 6, Coda. Number 5, King Richard. Number 4, Free Guy. Number 3, Dune. Number 2, Tick Tick Boom. And number 1, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Boom. My number 10 is Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Number 9 is The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Number 8 is Free Guy. Number 7, The Suicide Squad. Number 6, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Number 5, Encanto. Number 4, Tick Tick Boom. Number 3, Don't Look Up. Number 2, Dune. And number 1, Spider-Man No Way Home. 100%.
All right. I think that'll probably do it for this week, right?
Yeah, I think that will. I think that'll do it. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Somehow, we managed to end on time. But yeah, thanks for joining. I mean, we thought that this was going to be a huge episode just talking about the list, but then we decided to do the TV talk, and it brought us right to 10 o'clock, so it was beautiful. Thank you guys so much for joining us again. Make sure, I know I'm preaching it to all you guys in all of our videos. Oh, by the way, go check out the Moon Knight trailer reaction that me and TJ both did on the channel now. That video did a nice little, I think it's at like almost 1,000. I think it's like 900 something right now. So thank you guys for checking that out. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel. But like I said, like I've always beaten you over the head with, make sure that you are following us at The Official PFN on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. We are posting multiple times a day in different capacity, making reviews, reactions, different reactions to news and stuff. TJ is always posting when, no matter what the trailer is, when new stuff comes out on the Twitter. We do usually news posts on both Twitter and Instagram, and then on and then on TikTok and Instagram, we do the TikToks and Instagram reels and stuff. That's where you can mainly find out our thoughts on Book of Boba Fett, Peacemaker, a couple smaller things too. And I think I'm going to start doing, when I watch certain movies, I think I'm going to start doing a little, review of the movie as well. Usually around like 40-45 seconds. So yeah, thank you guys for checking those out. That'll do it for me. I've been one of your hosts, Sean Monk.
I was your other host, TJ Cornwell. Thank you for watching this week. Comment below what your favorite top 10 movies are of the year, or some of your favorite movies that you watched in 2021. Don't forget to check out TikTok, every social media page, like Sean just said. I think that's it. We will see you next time.
Boom. Thank you guys for watching.